All right. Good morning. Still morning. And it is April 14th. I'm having a hard time thinking it's April. And you are here for a Screencastify submit. And I'm really glad that you guys are in it because I just had the moment of shock of did I share it that anybody with the link can get it? I did. Thank goodness. All right. It's just been one of those days. So you're here for Screencastify. On the menu Screencastify. So John, just keep eating. It's all good. John's my come to every training, so I'm good to go with him. He knows the deal, what's going on. I'm gonna move you guys if I can. Can I move it? No, can I move you? I can if I can figure out where you are. There you are. Yay! Awesome. Moved you to a different screen. All right, so data privacy, same thing as always. Make sure that you've approved things with your DPO. Things you see here may be available or not available for your use within your area. Okay, yada, yada, yada. It's all good. I think most people know that anyway. John, are you using Screencastify?
I have a few times, yeah.
All right, awesome.
Nice.
So you're like a newbie-ish.
Yeah, I have a intro level.
Okay, well that's great. So this will be perfect for you. I'm going to walk through the 3 pieces of Screencastify because there's the main thing which is the record tool, and I'm going to go through record, edit, and the newer tool which is submit, which is kind of awesome, and show you how you can use all 3. And we'll start with record. Okay, so Screencastify. I don't know how I found this presentation, but I had it after I asked Erica for hers. Had this, but this is actually Screencastify's presentation. So obviously they gave it to me at some point. But you can use the pieces. So there's 3 pieces. There's record, which allows you to do just what it says. Record, I think that's the one most of us are used to. Edit, so you can literally cut things up, save things, link things. I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned yesterday that I didn't know that you could do. I knew you could link videos, but there's a easy way to do it, which could be great for events at the end of the year. And then there's Screencastify Submit, which allows students to use it without having to download anything, that's kind of awesome. So they can do some pieces. They run off the teacher account. So let's start with Screencastify Record. A little background. My background with Screencastify, you'll notice they have videos in here, which are awesome. So you'll be able to kind of watch those on your own. My experience with Screencastify, I've been using it for probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. And I use it because I'll give the real answer. I'm too lazy to type responses out in emails. I get so many emails from people that say, how do I do this? And it's hard to write those descriptions out directly. So I started with a free account on Screencastify, which gave me 25 recordings a month and up to 5 minutes. And I just started recording them. And it was so successful that I asked if at NARIC we could purchase them for our instructional team. And I no longer type out directions to people. So if someone asks me how to do something, I literally record a video, and it's just so much easier. They have it. I keep them for about a year. After a year, I clean them out. I don't ever have to, but it just makes my life a lot easier because then, especially secretaries love it because they may have tasks they do 1 time a year. They can go in, they can watch the video, they can stop it, they can rewind it, they can stop it, they can rewind it, they can do it a couple times to get used to what they have to do. And it just builds a comfort level. And really, video is used so much. I think in 2017, the statistic was that 75% of all content on the internet was video or streaming related. That's pretty intense, right? And think about what we use, what grabs your interests on Facebook? Videos, right? We use YouTube. TikTok is all video related. Reels is all video related. So then and then on top of that, we talk about Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, all of those, like Roku. I use a Roku at home, right? So that's all streaming. So that's all video related. So when you think about that, and don't even bring in education, it's kind of amazing. So, so you get started with the Screencastify extension. So everything for record runs out of the extension. And quite honestly, everything for Screencastify runs out of the extension, which is nice. Not 3 extensions, 1 extension, all works the same way. And you can see where mine sits. And I think I've said this before. Excuse me, my extensions are in by priority, what I use the most. So it's number 2. It probably should be number 1 because I definitely use it even more than Bitly. But it's right there. So anytime I want to access it, all I have to do is click on it and it opens it up. It's that easy. I love the finesse and ease of it. So this is a quick video recording of it that you can watch at your leisure, but I decided to just do it myself. So the first thing is you're going to install the extension. You come to the extension, you click on the extension, it opens up the preview spot. So I'm going to click that. I'm actually going to turn, maybe if I can find my video, I'm going to stop my video. So sorry, you don't get to see my crazy hair run amok today. And so that I can use the video components within Screencastify. So I'm going to come up into Screencastify. I'm going to click on it. And then I have this part open up, right? So this is basically Screencastify. And you notice that I have record unlimited. So you can have record free, I think is what they call it. Record free allows you to have 25 videos per month for up to 5 minutes. Record unlimited is just what it says, unlimited. And Erica, I'm going to ask you, do you know the price? It used to be like $79 a year, $69, $79. It's in that area.
Yeah, they recently changed it, so it was nice when it was all encompassed together. But now that they've broken into the 3 parts, I think it's about $30 for each part now, which isn't too bad.
Which is still pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So you still can use all 3 of the components free, which is nice. I know that districts get a little wibbly wobbly when we try to do that because they don't love it when we try to sell it when we try to use free products. And just to let you know that NARIC holds right now the New York State licensing for Screencastify. I'm sure it will go through the ITCC, which means we have the DPA on it. So districts can purchase it, but we do have the data privacy agreement on it, which is nice. But after we fought for a long time to get it. So you have multiple options. You can record a browser tab, so just one browser tab. You can record the whole desktop, which means you can jump from tab to tab to tab to your desktop to your thing. And I highly recommend that you just leave it there and never move it, because that's really what you want. You want to record your whole desktop. There's very few times we're going to sit on one tab. We're going to jump around and do different things. You can also record just your webcam only. So you can do your webcam only. So the first time you come in, you will need to do a few things. You will need to allow access to your microphone, allow access to your webcam, all of those pieces. And you'll notice that I have multiples, which I had to come in and do. So I have multiple Tambergs. So I have my devices set up for audio and I have my webcam. So I can either use the integrated or the external that I have. And it will automatically find your webcams and your microphones, and you just have to choose the one you want. So that's very, very simple, which I really like. So it keeps it, I don't want to say idiot proof because that makes it sound like, you can't handle it, but everybody can. So it's simple. You can turn microphone off, which I love. You could turn the microphone off. So if you just want to do a go through, like here's the steps and you do it this way, that's how you can do that. You can also turn the webcam off. So if I turn the webcam off, it'll just do my desktop and it'll just do that piece. So I'm going to record just for a second. And you can see what happens is that it automatically pops up a little webcam and then it shows me which do you want to show. I have 3 screens open, so it says which screen do you want to show. If you only have one, it's pretty easy. And this is also why I tell people to stay with the desktop option, because it allows you to pop around on different pieces. So I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to record a video and a video and a video. That's fun, right? And then you will get the 3, 2, 1. And then it's just recording as you want to go. And I'm going to come back to this. So if you've used it in the past, you may not have seen this handy dandy little thing they have going on here. They have a toolbar, which I'm going to come back to in a couple minutes. But it does allow you to do a couple really cool things. Like, right, you can put some stickers right up while you're recording, which I kind of love, which is really, I know. So, you know, me and my stickers, I can't help it. And then there's a lot of times you used to not lose it, but the toolbar was little down in the corner and you could easily push it out of the way and not find it. So it stays right there, so I can just turn it off. This is my favorite part. I have mine turned on and I'm going to walk through all the pieces with you, but I have mine turned on to automatically save to my Google Drive. Like, it's really the reason why I chose Screencastify a long time ago, because it's Virginia proof, right? I don't have to worry about where things are saved. And for teachers, the ease of it, because the first time you set up, it creates a Screencastify folder and all of your videos go into it. You don't have to do any work. It all happens automatically. You don't have to worry about doing it. So all I have to do is I just have to name it. So this is one of the things that I always do. I always name it right off the bat, and then I might just leave it alone. You also notice that you can go right into editor. You can copy a shareable link. We're going to come back to all of that. So that's the basics. So we went through the basic component. You can do browser, desktop. I highly recommend doing the desktop, but there are times maybe you just want to talk to your kids. You can just do a webcam. You can also do just the microphone, just the webcam, or the mic and the webcam, which they call screen only, webcam only, screen and webcam. Okay, so that's some language that Screencastify uses. Okay, so let's do a little bit more in our actual layout. So over here in the layout, you have your hamburger lines. Okay, so we come to the hamburger. You have multiple components in here. So let's just go through them really quickly. So here's my recordings. It tells what account I'm logged in with. Okay. It takes me into my recordings. And like I said, Erica did some statistics on me the other day. She's like, holy but Jesus, you use a lot of Screencastify recordings, right? Tons of them. Some I keep right in my Google Drive. First, it's in their Google Drive. I don't really care. They can fill it up all I want. And there's a lot in here. Some I will push out to YouTube. It depends on how I'm using it. So you'll see I have some things in here. Like actually, here's a recording I did for Erica, which was like, I don't even know if I really did this, Erica. Really, really short, 0 seconds. That's interesting. So if it has to do with anything that would be PII related, so anything with data, frontline, anything like that, I keep in my Google Drive. Anything that could be for the greater good. So maybe this one here, save to Google Keep. This is something on the extension. I pushed this one out to YouTube. I could delete this one now. I don't need it anymore. Some of these things are out in YouTube land. Some I kept right just in my drive. So it's a simple way to do that. Highly recommend that when you record it, you name it right away, because otherwise you run into like untitled, and sometimes I'm great at it and sometimes I'm not. So I've made it a habit now. So when I make it, I name it right away. Yeah, of course I do, because there's one right there that I was playing. This one's garbage. Okay, so we're just delete it. And it's that easy. So you can easily delete one. So the next one through is my subscription. It's going to tell you when your subscription, if it's through a school, I think so here's the amount. So, ooh, look at annual price. And this basically tells you the prices, and submit right now is free, which is really nice. So you also can see your integrations. I've turned on the integration for Google Classroom, right? So I could push assignments directly into my Google Classroom, which I don't even know if I was going to cover today, but it's pretty easy and it's pretty awesome. So the next one, let's go back. We're going to go back into our hamburger. I don't know if it'll let me go back this way. No, that would be way too easy. Right back in here, options. So I'm not sure that I've ever changed my options from what Screencastify set them as. You have a few things in here. I just left them alone, right? I wanted to open a video page after I record it. So the tricky part is when it opens it, it will open it and you're going to freak out because you're going to be like, oh my God, there's no sound. And the reason there's no sound is when they open mute. They have a mute line on them and everybody's like, oh my God, I made it and there's no sound. So they make it again, right? So when you open them up like this and it doesn't matter, see this? It's always on mute. And people are like, oh man, I did the whole thing. There's no sound. Well, they do that on purpose because in case you're doing something, you don't have to listen to yourself, which for me, I love. So I don't have to listen to myself. I don't want to. And that's a good thing. So they're all still in there, which is great. Okay, let's go back. Still working my way through my little hamburger components in here.
I actually had a question about the microphone. If you got a second. So I came in, I had a problem with whenever I raised my volume, even just a little bit more than normal, then when I went in to watch the video, it like lowered all of the levels for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds. So it would be like, I would get a little excited about something and then all of a sudden the video would just like, you could barely hear me and then it would go back to a normal level. And I tried to.
So in here under advanced, so there is some setup down in here. They also have optimized mic audio for voice. You might disable if you want to record background noise or use professional audio equipment. You notice I have mine on, but you can turn it off. You may want to try that. You also want to go through and you want to do a settings check. So when you work with your audio, yeah, because if you're like me, yeah, you do go up and down and you'll notice that like, I will take that bad boy to red every once in a while when I'm in it. And yeah, I mean, no, I would never do that, right? So it does try to balance it out a little bit as you're working with it, just so you know. And it just try to keep that balance up. So you may need to say to the kids, you know, you might want to turn me up a little bit or not. So yeah, it just seems to be one of those features. And it could have more to do with your mic setting on your device as well, more than Screencastify, but I doubt it. How's that for a real answer? Okay, so that's the screen options. And then we're going to come into editor and submit in a little bit, but I'm also going to, I'm going to show you resources right now. So there are lots of resources in here already built, which is kind of awesome. It also, like if you have the product and you feel like you need to uninstall, you can uninstall. This will all come back, but everything is so accessible right through the extension, which I think is amazing. You can just come to screencastify.com and find your way in. One of the things I love, if you come into For School and you go into the courses, I have a page on this. You can get the 3, there are 3 badges for Screencastify, of which I have all. I have to say, master the screencast or be a master caster is what they call this. Is like, they have the best names ever. And then they also have a student one, which I think is pretty cool. So your kids can go, this literally 10 minutes, right? And they just watch a video and it walks them through that. I think that's really cool for kids to get that and to just prove that they know how to do that. That's amazing. So that's like a quick, easy thing if you want to do any kind of casting with your kids in general. Okay, so let me go back to my presentation. I think I worked all my way through those. There's like a list of my recordings. Again, I highly recommend that Google Drive just because it's easy and you don't have to worry about where stuff goes. Like when I record these videos, they come to me from WebEx, and then I have to download them to my desktop. I have to make sure they're in the right place, and then I have to upload them to YouTube, right? So if I went into my recordings right here, And I'm actually going to take this video right here and I'm going to push it to YouTube, right? So it's all done. I decide after a while, okay, this is a great video. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to push it to YouTube. I then get like the typical YouTube screen pops up. It populates my channel because it's linked through my email account. It asks me what kind of video, what kind of visibility level do I want to put it? I'm going to make this one private because I'm going to delete this in a little while. I'm going to just say delete because I don't want to keep that. I can put a quick description and I can upload it and it's just going to go. When it's all done, and it really does not take long. See, that's pretty quick. You could tell it to view on YouTube, or you could just copy the link and then you can grab it and push it to people. It's very simple. That's how I do it. If I want something to be a visible link out to people, I will just copy the link. Otherwise, I will just grab the link option right there. And you also have some others in here too. So it tells you, right? People who have the link to the video can view it because I keep stuff even in my Google Drive. I keep them unlisted, right? So that's just a generic component in there. It'll say, how do you want to push it through? You have all these other options. Plus there's some download options in here as well. I have downloaded a video, I think once. Although this is really cool. You can export it as an animated GIF, which is kind of cool. I've never really tried that. Erica, by the way, I think that's a solution for what I'm looking for. I want to make those little videos that people make all the time. Even Screencastify has them that just kind of loop through things. That's the solution. And I'm not sure why that just hit in my head. That's a cool solution. Great idea for kids, right? They could do a couple different things and just animate it, right? How simple is that? That's a good fit for art. Okay, so as we work our way through, I went through those. Okay, so now if I work my way across, and I'm going to go back out to my extension. So here's my extension, and I work my way over here. Here's another My Recordings. I would love to tell you that I use that. Never. I always use the lines, just my habit. Notifications. So this will give you things like when updates come through. This is a little old too because they don't have the fact that they put in the new toolbar. So little old. And then the last one that's over there is settings, different than options. Now, options are generic, settings are small, which is not normally the issue, but they do give you two different options within your settings. You can come in here and you can resize tabs if you want to. So if you want a smaller tab, that's a better optimum for the device you're on. You can do that. And then he's just recording it. God, nobody wants to listen to me more than once. Shut up, Virginia. So then the next one, we can come in. Let's go back into my settings. You can limit your resolution. You can play with the frame rate. I will tell you that I have done nothing in there whatsoever. I just left it alone, right? Although my per second was a little low. I had it at 10, and then you can do auto stop. I don't even know what that is. So, so if you stop talking, it will turn off in 2 minutes, right? That's kind of nice. So basic pieces of what you need in there. All right. So the new toolbar. So I'm going to open one back up and I'm going to walk you through these pieces that sit in the new toolbar. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to, let's go, I don't know, try to find something different. That's not the same thing. Okay, this is better. We'll go out to Screencastify and I'll walk you through this a little bit. So I'm going to come into Screencastify, into the extension. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to go to the desktop, going to record. It's going to say, where do you want to record to? I'm going to do this screen, which is the one I'm on, share it. I'm going to get my countdown. And then I have these like new tools in here, which I have to say, if anything that has made me a little excited, it's these tools. They can be moved around, which I like. Interesting because I'm not sure they're going to show up when you do the recording. So you have a pen, okay? Pretty freaking fantastic because I can write on things, right? I can draw right on top of stuff, which I really like. That's cool. That's a really nice feature. You can clear the screen and get rid of it as well. And then I can go back. So that's pen. I also have a mouse. So when I click on the mouse, it's going to save the mouse. So you see what it does? It shows me where I am. Like I'm highlighting, it's going to show me where I'm clicking. I love that. That's a cool feature. So if I want to come here and say go to courses, I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to unclick that. I can also do clicks. It has the classic. So the classic, I don't remember what this one is. So that's where I was before. That's back to the other way. Oh, loved this the other day. This is like super new. So your students are working on it and they did something well. You want to give them kudos. Pretty easy. You can just click the fireworks, which is easy. And they actually do change color because I sat and played with this for a couple minutes to make sure that they were actually changing colors. So you could do a lot at a time, right? So you could just kind of move them around. Kind of a nice little feature. Also in here, if I come back out of mouse, you have rectangles, so I can draw a rectangle, right? Don't know if there's other shapes. That seems like there should be. Guess there is not. Okay. Clear my screen. Don't need that. I'm going to go back. You have stickers. Everybody knows Virginia's a sucker for a sticker, so it's good. I think it's a nice feature. They do have some of the generic ones that we've seen in the past, like 100%, love it, thumbs up, which is nice. If you're grading something that a student has done and you don't want to type anything, you could do this video of it yourself, your face over their presentation, and just push parts so you really like. I think that's a neat way to do it, right? Like that's a really cool feature. I really like that. Nice job, right? So the stickers, I mean, as silly as they are, they're kind of awesome. Erica loves stickers, so I know she's gonna love that. You can also put a sticker on. Tried this today, and then you can go back and I can grab the eraser and I can erase the sticker. Ooh. And you can stop the webcam. You can stop the webcam right from in the settings. You start to record, you're like, I did not want that. I'm gonna turn that back on, right? I can also restart it there. So like, you can also pause. So I can pause the video. It still shows me in the webcam, and then I can start it again. It will pick back up. You get a phone call in the middle that you got to take, and you don't want to record the whole thing. You can just pause it, keep going, pick up where you need to. Or you have a brain tootle like I have sometimes. You can't remember where you are, and you're like, oh, okay, great. So you can easily do that. Okay, so that's all of those tools. So I'm going to stop again. It's going to go through, it's going to show the pieces, it's going to come up here, and I'm just going to call it Screencast Tools. So I have that, right? I'm going to call it the toolbar, not the tools. So I really like those new features that they put in. Oh, you can see it as I move around. I think that's a really nice feature that they've added to keep it simple, but it does make it much more teacher friendly. And I love the ability to draw on something, because I was just using like the mouse focus, which they've had in the past. There's also, by the way, you can darken everything and have it clear. I must have skipped that one in there. So we made a video, right? So we made a video and I can insert, and I do like this because I can insert a video from my Google Drive, right? I would be able to pull a video right in from my Google Drive. If I pushed it out to YouTube, which is typically what I do, I push things out to Google Drive. If I publish this to the YouTube, I'm going to do that, right? I'm publish it to the YouTubes. I'm going to upload it. I'm going to let it go, do its thing. It's going to ask me my couple questions, maybe. It's going to say, what do you want it to be? And maybe it won't ask me anything, right? Perfect. If I want to view it on YouTube, it's going to bring me out here so I can see it. It's going to give me my viewer processing. I'm okay with that, right? Do I check all the time? No. Do I always check? No. Should I probably? Yeah. I copy the link. I come back out here and I just insert the video and I just do it by URL. And there it is. So it's ready to go. They're pretty fast. So select that, simple, and it is processing. So it'll come in. This is why that happens, because it's processing. I didn't give it enough time. So it's not that it's not there. I'm never usually patient enough. Story of my life. That's not a shocker. And then I have, like, see if I got it. Oh, so that time it worked. So if you, usually if you give it a minute, it'll go through. So I do like that because you can build that. So that's, I think, a really good segue into what's a great way to use this. So Screencastify is awesome to like create videos of how-tos for your kids. Like you need to go here, here, and here. If we were in person, that would not be such a big deal, right? It could also be along the lines of like, gather your resources. I'm thinking for you, John, like gather your resources. So you might want to like a picture of your resources that you pop in there. You pause it, you pull a couple more things together, or you can do like grab one thing, take a picture of it, put it in, right? However you want to do that. And you can like show it, pause the video, go get the next one, show it, pause it, right? You can continue to do that, which is a good way, I think, for remote kids to understand that process of pulling things together. You can kind of work your way through too. You can have your tabs all set, work your way across, teach students how to navigate things literally instead of typing directions to them. So think about this like for Google Classroom. Instead of typing directions for them, you give verbal directions. Because I think everybody, especially in the arts, I was talking to a music teacher. I'm like, oh my God, girl, stop typing things. She goes, it takes me so many times to type directions out. I'm like, so stop doing it, recording it. She's like, what? So I told her that. She was like, oh my God, that was a game changer. She's like, I record it because I have the same thing that I say at the end of every lesson, and I was typing it out every time. So she said she made one and she continues to use it. She changes it every couple of weeks just to kind of amp it up. She goes, so much easier because I know what that link is and I just throw that link right in for my lesson for my student. I said, that's awesome. So, you know, again, now that you've made that video to consistently use Drive and then decide if you're going to push it out to YouTube, that becomes your own personal preference. And it may actually, some of that may come from your district. They may say, hey, we don't want them on YouTube. We only want them on Google Drive. You notice one of the things that I've done, and I think most of you guys have seen this now, that I changed how I present a little bit. I share first. You may not notice, Erica may notice this. I share first, I move you guys off screen, and then I record. And what that does is it keeps you guys separate. So all these other people that are taking this training, they're going to be like, who the hell is Erica and Kristen and John? Because they're never going to see you. Because I've moved you to another screen. I'm only recording this screen, and I do that purposely. So I'm just recording my own stuff, not everybody else in here, right? If my camera was on, I would only be recording me, not everybody else. I do that purposely so that I do push things to YouTube, but I do keep everything unlisted. Okay, so again, some ideas, like you can create those instructional videos. So we could actually teach right in front of with Screencastify. I highly encourage like you being in the video. A lot of teachers are like, oh, I don't like how I sound, or I don't like the I stutter. I'm like, well, you know what? You do that in the classroom too. And I mean, I had someone tell me the other day, oh, you're so good at it. I'm like, I got 5 years of practice at this, and I'm not, right? I have days, I have the ultimate in Screencastify blooper the other day when I went, welcome to the with it, and I lost it. And I couldn't even keep going, and I just stopped it. I was like, oh, okay, we'll start that again, right? It happens. Everybody happens. I usually just go right through it. I have teammates who will record it till it's right. I'm like, I'd never have anything done. It's fine. I'm good with it. I would stumble like that in the classroom. I'm okay with doing it on video. Use this platform to give verbal feedback. I really love that feature because it does allow you to not type everything, which I kind of love because I hate to type everything. Explain directions. You can like re-explain, like if you have to give directions one time written, but if you want to do a verbal explanation, or kids start to ask you like, I don't understand step 2, maybe instead of retyping it out, you kind of just do a clarification with a video that you can add into a Google Classroom. Sub plans are awesome. That's kind of how I got into all this. I use Screencast-O-Matic before Screencastify was around, and I did lesson plans in 2000 and I want to say 9 and 10. I had to be out for an extended time, so I did my sub plans that way. And you can also send updates to parents. Awesome. Okay, so the next one. So moving beyond just record and into edit. And that should not say record. That should say getting started with edit. So just forgive it and let it, it should say, okay, so here's edit. I'm not even going to go into it. So how do I get to it? I come up to here and I'm going to open this video in editor. Okay. I could come over here and open an editor. Anytime I open a video, an editor. Everybody's looking for YouTube. Everybody's looking for a video editor. Like YouTube used to have that component built right in. So here's the video. And I can actually put text on it. I can cut it. So if I decide that I want to cut like that part off, I can do that, right? I can delete. So I basically deleted the whole big part. So you can also undo it. So let's say I just want to cut that part off and I cut this little piece off right here. I want to just cut it. I can cut a little piece out. I love that, right? That's awesome. So you can cut it. You can put text right on top of it. So those are like fancy YouTube videos that people make. You can put cards in there. You can put all kinds of stuff in. Okay. Kids love this. What I like about this, this is a nice graphic designer for kids to learn how to do some graphic design and to do some editing, video editing. That's a real life skill that they're going to want in their life. And this is a gateway. Screencastify Edit is a gateway into some of the bigger editing softwares because this will teach those basic tools. I have seen second graders edit with this tool, which is mind-boggling. So because it's not difficult. All right, so when we come in here, you can see you have new projects, you can have my videos, you can rename them, you can do whatever you want. Here's a really cool thing. I'm going to add media. So a lot of the time people say, hey, I want to like pull multiple pieces in. And this is the new thing that I wrote in there. So I am going to find my Screencastify folder. It's in here. I also play in two different, there it is, Screencastify folder right there. And I'm going to have it open up. And here's all those videos. So maybe I want to showcase student work at the end of the school year. This has been a big thing for people. So they're like, add 1, add 2, add 3. They'd go and click add media, add 1. I didn't know this. I took a training yesterday on Screencastify. You can do this. I don't want that one, right? I can select multiple. And I can say, okay, and it's going to pull all 3 of them in and it's going to go bing, 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 bing. It's automatically going to put them together. I was like, no way. I was like, oh, that is cool. So now, instead of me trying to find which one I want and which one I want here, I can put them all in together in one fell swoop. And then I can start my editing down into 5 minutes. If you're using free, you can only have up to 5 minutes for an export. That's a trick. If you have a purchased, you have unlimited. So you can make it as long as you want. That's a really cool feature. And then you can come through and you can say, okay, I want to edit. Let's say I want to edit this to there. I want to do this and I want to cut, right? I can go through and I can say I want to go from there to there. I want to take that out. I can do that. Maybe I want to crop the image. I can do all that. Simple enough. So I really like that feature to be able to pull a whole bunch in at one time. Didn't know you could do that. Probably because I never try it, right? I don't have to do a lot of that, but that is a cool way to pull it through. I kind of love that. I love simple. I like it when things are simple. So again, you can do all these same things before with, this is not the right slide. Pretend that slide's not there. Okay, I'll fix that. Worst things have happened today. Worst things have happened. I'll put that. So what are some ideas? You can do gallery walks at the end of the year. You can have students put together their own set of pieces, or they could showcase like a beginning of the year, a middle of the year, and an end of the year piece. Kind of love that. They could do a beginning, middle, end. They could create a video of their portfolio, which is great. I think John and Art, and we did this in music class with this, students were recording themselves all the time. They found themselves at the beginning of the year and then they listened to themselves at the end of the year and they linked it together and then they recorded a reflection of how they had changed and they added that in as well. I love that. That's a really nice way to do that. And kids can do, like they could even, once it's recorded, they could run the recording and do a voiceover on it. Oh, blow mine. You could do a voice recording over a Screencastify video, which is kind of cool. So some nice really features in there. Okay, so the last one is this new tool. It's not super new, but it's new to a lot of people. It's called Screencastify Submit. And Screencastify Submit requires no student login, no extension, and no app installation. Like, because I'm always like, what? So basically, and it works with a freemium account, which is kind of awesome. It also works with a paid account. You have the ability to go in and you could create a project for your kids. I'm going to show you how to do this. So you come up here and you type in app.screencastify. Only if I can spell. Castify.com. Oop, I had it right there. .com/submit. And you come into here and it's going to bring you in. It's going to, so we've seen all this, right? And I come into submit and I can create a new assignment. Now I'm going to close this assignment. I'm going to close it and I'm going to turn it back on in a minute. I'm going to make a new assignment. So just so you can watch the process. So you can push it right to Google Classroom. Oh, winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's kind of awesome, right? So you literally can push an assignment right to Google Classroom from here. Love that. I can also do a classic submit link, which is what I'm going to use right now. And you can make a decision about what kind of recording and you basically locking the kids into what they can do. So they can't say, well, you say, do a recording for me. And they're like, and they all decide to only do screen all because that's what they do, right? Because God knows they all use TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat like every second of their life. But when you ask them to go on screen, they're like, no, I can't do that. Oh, God, that's an invasion of privacy. So I'm going to make it like that, right? They've got to do that. Oh, I know them, right? Listen, I own some of them. So you title it. We're going to just call this title because that's a great title for a title, right? And you give the yada, yada, yada directions. So, and I'm doing this because I have one I'm going to actually show you that you're going to do, right? So yada, 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 record me something. How do you like that? Great words. I text just like a kid, right? All done. So then here's the next pieces. How are we going to allow to submit it? Anybody with the link or anyone in my organization totally can lock it down. I'm going to do anyone in the link. Video privacy. Love this piece. They can see all of them. They can only see their own or they can't look at any. So you get to make that option and you can kind of build their tolerance. You can start with none. Then you can start with just their own. And then you can start with they can see everybody's. Okay, so the minute they're inappropriate, you lock them right back down into no one. So we're going to leave it, you can view all, and then you're going to get you're going to email notification when a video is submitted. I'm going to turn that on, right? And I just say next. So let that go. So it's live. And all I have to do is copy this and I can push this out to people. It's that easy, right? Close. So only one assignment open at a time. That's trick. Can't have 6 assignments. Can't have 40 assignments. So I'm actually going to close this assignment and you can keep them in here. And I'm going to open this assignment back up, which is this one right here. And I'm going to copy the link. So I'm going to take that link and I'm going to come up into the chat, which is on my other screen over here because I decided it would be fun. I believe I said a zillion. Oh, nice. Nice. All right. And I just put this into the chat and I'm going to go quiet because I'm going to have you click on that and try it yourself. You may have to turn off your camera that you have on right now, but I'm going to go quiet. I'm going to play music. All right. Try that. Hopefully I set it up the right way. I'll play music if I, oh, that's funny today. Call me irresponsible. Sounds about right, right? But we can't have nice things because I break everything. I kind of, I'm a little scared. Okay, so you should see here, I have like 2 submissions in. John is either dying because he said something totally great or totally inappropriate. I'm hoping it's that last one. I'm just kidding. She's laughing, so that's good. So you can see that I saw the submissions come in, so my submissions went up to 2, and if I click on them, I should be, so Erica and John both put them in. So they just literally go into a Screencastify submit folder. Pretty simple, right? And then I'm gonna pick on Erica first. And
This is my cat mask. I'm super proud of my cat mask. Enjoy. Bye.
and this is why I love her, right? Because she's insane. All right, so here we go. John's like, no. I love it, right? But do you see how easy that is to do, right? So it's not hard to set up. They're easy to watch come back. You didn't have to jump through any major hoops to make it happen. It's a simple way to push out. And what I like is that you can have them preset. I actually had it preset right here, right? I had it preset. I put the link right in there. I could copy, could have put it in my speaker notes. And I just put myself a little note that said push into chat because after today, I was not sure what was really going to happen with me, my laptop, or me, this laptop, and anything else. So I left myself a little note. Like, let's try this. Like, push into the chat. It's easy. All right. So the fun thing with that is that it's a great way to kind of push things out to kids. And one of the examples they used yesterday that I thought was really cool is they had kids find like 4 examples of 90-degree angles in their house, like if they were remote or in the classroom. So they could walk their devices around and do it, which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Excuse me. It also, I think there's an app for your phone, which I've never really tried, but there is an app for the phone. I'm always on my device. So you can go through and you can get certified. I did show you some of those things. These are the certification courses. I have taken all 3. I believe Erica's also taken all 3. They're not hard. This one is the hardest of the 3. And only because it's Alice Keeler, none of them are hard. You basically just go through, watch the videos, but you really do get some great tidbits. And the kind of, I believe the basis behind this is Nefertiti Dukes. Her name is, they call her Neff. She's a former English teacher, and she is so smooth with the way she presents, and she has lots of ideas that she offers to all different curriculum levels, which I really do like about her. So questions. I made it through, and I know that is not I'm just like, the device made it, I made it, the presentation made it. I only had 1 mistake, considering I lost 3 hours of presenting today, you know, not too bad. Questions. I'm going to stop sharing. And I move you guys over here so I can see you. All right. You are my Dr. Kim was on the whole time. That's why you're laughing, John. I get it now. That's a riot. All right. So it's easy to use. I'm hoping that was some pieces that will be helpful for you. John, you know that once I do attendance, once I actually can get into Frontline today, because today the day is just, oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, you know, I'm not shocked about anything today. Okay, hoping that you got what you need. Are you coming next week for Google Arts and Culture? Ooh, I'm excited. Yay. All right, fantastic. So thanks. I'm going to stop recording. You know that you don't, oh, and I'm done early. I like that.